Hey everyone, what's up Facebook Live? It's Mandy Enright from Nutrition Nuptials, and I have been chatting to you guys all week here on Facebook Live, doing the 7 days of smoothies, giving you guys a different smoothie recipe every day. We have been featuring our Wild Tree Wellness Balanced Meals Shake, and again, those of you that haven't heard me chat about the shake yet, it's pretty awesome as far as those who are looking to add a little bit more protein, nutrients into some of their meals. While technically the shake was designed to be a meal in itself, quite frankly, I'm a big believer as a dietitian that we should be really bumping up our meals and making them really full and satisfying and not just drinking some powder and some milk together. So instead, what we are going to be doing here is making a shake. And I just realized I forgot my milk, so chat amongst yourselves. Let me just grab that out so we can officially have our shake ready to go. And it is Friday, and it is celebration of Friday. It's Friday Pie Day, and we're going to have a little something sweet to get us ready for our upcoming weekend. So today we are doing a sweet potato pie smoothie and making, taking a little bit of vegetable and adding it on into our smoothie for today. So obviously our main ingredient, sweet potato pie smoothie, we got to have our sweet potato. So I took a baked potato, or a sweet potato, I should say, and it was baked at a 400-degree oven for about an hour to get it nice and soft. So if you frequently cook potatoes ahead of time, I find that I'm not always home and have a lot of time to bake potatoes, so if I do them, I like to do them as a batch and then reheat them as needed. Sweet potatoes are great to have around ready to go. Not only do they make a great side dish that you can just bake or reheat again and have as a side dish, but you can also use your sweet potatoes in some really fun and unique ways. So some people like to spread it on toast. Some people will take the baked potato and stir it in to make more of like a savory oatmeal. So there's a lot of options that you can do to play with it. Today we're going to have our baked potato in our smoothie. So as I said, this guy was baked, and this was a pretty large and in charge baked potato, so I actually wound up cutting it in half. The potato that you're going to use probably should be maybe about the size or so of your hand. So if I'm going to grab this guy here, it's going to look a little something like that. It does still have the skin on it, so I am going to remove the skin from our baked potato just to get that there. While I do love my fiber in my foods, it's not going to blend quite so well for our smoothie, so we're going to get that guy out of the way. The other thing, too, is when you bake your sweet potato, you're going to actually want to just chop it up in some chunks. So I usually say maybe quarter it or so. Otherwise, it might be a little hard on the blender. So again, I'm just going to chop it up into some chunks here and make it a little bit easier so my blender doesn't feel super overworked as it puts our smoothie together for us. I do always like to point out to my folks, for some reason, the sweet potato became like the sweetheart of a lot of our meals, and the poor little white potato has gotten a lot of flack. But in reality, when we think about this, I'm just going to grab a towel. In reality, when we talk about potatoes, a sweet potato and a regular potato are really exactly the same as far as the nutritional profile goes. Really, the only difference is that a sweet potato has a lot more vitamin A in it, which is what gives it this orange color, versus the regular white potato, which actually has a lot more vitamin C. And as I'm looking, I see a little piece of skin stuck, so I'm going to get that guy off. This regular potato has a lot more vitamin C, but both have same amount of fiber, they both have the same amount of nutrients, so there is absolutely nothing wrong with the good old white potato to have. So just like you're going to prep the sweet potato, you can bake it, you can do whatever you want with it. I do like to point out to people too that when you take a sweet potato and you cover it in brown sugar and marshmallows, kind of takes away the nutritional value of it as well. Same thing like a regular baking potato, if we start covering it in sour cream and butter, that also can take away the nutritional profile of it as well. So you just want to be mindful of how you're preparing your vegetables. So give equal love to all of our potatoes. So I have my potato, it's baked, it's in here, I quartered it up. Next I'm going to take some frozen bananas. So I told you guys this the other day, frozen bananas, one of the biggest staples I tend to keep in my house for smoothies. My bananas don't tend to stick around very long, so I like to take them, slice them, and throw them in my freezer so they're ready to go. I just put them in a nice Ziploc bag, all sliced up. That way I can just grab them, and it's a lot easier when I need them for recipes. So for this recipe, we want to do about half of a banana, which if you do my method and slice up your bananas, it's probably about 4 banana slices is going to equal half of your banana. And one more. All right, in you go. All right, so we have our bananas, we have our sweet potato. For just a little bit of added fiber, I'm going to add in one dried pitted date. We had used one the other day, and you know, they just add a nice little extra fiber, some natural sweetness, and just to help give it a nice flavor here. So for my milk, I am going to do some unsweetened almond milk. I am going to start off by adding in, I'm going to call for about maybe a cup or so, but I'm going to start off first by adding in about half of my milk first, because I have found that it does help to, there we go, to have just a little bit of liquid in when I go to add the next couple of ingredients in. I'm going to add in some slivered almonds, although quite frankly, if I had pecans at home, I would actually probably throw maybe a tablespoon or so of pecans into my recipe. So I'm going to put my slivered almonds in. I love to put some kind of a seed in all of my smoothies. So today we're going to do a hemp seed, and that one I'm going to do a teaspoon of my hemp seeds. So that's half. There we go. For sweetness today, I am actually going to add in some pure maple syrup. So if you're going to do this recipe, I highly recommend using regular, good old-fashioned real maple syrup for some natural sweetness. You don't need a lot of it because it is very naturally sweet. So you can enjoy a little bit and get some good benefits out of it as well. Don't use like the pancake syrups like the Mrs. Butterworth or something, because really that's just for high fructose corn syrup, and it's going to give it a very different flavor profile from the 100% maple syrup. So I'm going to put a tablespoon or so, and you can really customize this to how sweet that you like it, but because I am doing a little bit of a sweet potato pie, I do want just a little extra sweet. So I'm going to do a tablespoon of the pure maple syrup, and then just add in a little bit of our flavoring. So in place of vanilla, I am going to use our vanilla protein powder. I'm going to do 2 scoops of that guy in here. And again, this has fiber. It has about 17 grams of protein, plant-based protein in it. So this is vegan. It is not gluten-free, and it's also free of all of the 8 major allergens. So if you do have somebody in your home who does have any kind of dietary restrictions, whether that be an allergy or just looking to maybe cut back a little bit on the animal-based proteins, great option for them to check out. And if you also have people who are gluten-free, again, really easy and a really great way that you can up the nutritional value of a lot of your foods by adding this in. All right, so we have our vanilla flavoring. We're going to add a little bit of some spices in. So I'm going to add in a 1/4 teaspoon of some ground nutmeg, some ground ginger, and last but not least, I'm going to throw in our cinnamon. And that one we're going to do about 1/2 teaspoon. So adding that cinnamon, and then we are ready to take a little trip on the blender. I'm just going to throw a little bit more liquid on top just to help thin this guy out just a little bit. So I am using Elmhurst 1925 unsweetened almond milk. I've been talking about it all week. Great option, but if you do want to use just some regular good old-fashioned cow's milk, awesome as well. The only reason I'm using this is because it is unsweetened, and I am using maple syrup, cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger. I don't want to have too many sweet flavors overpowering one another, so I wanted to use something that was a little bit more neutral. All right, let's send our sweet potato smoothie to the blender. So let's get this guy up and on here. Ready to go. I'm just going to give my smoothie a quick little shake. Get it to this really nice orange sweet potato color. Remember, you can always play with the thickness of your smoothie. So if you are somebody that likes them a little bit thinner, you can always put a little extra milk in. If you like them a little bit more thick, you can always do something like add in extra yogurt to it as well. The recipe I have now is a little bit on the thicker side. So if you do want to thin it out just throw a little bit more milk on top, throw it back on the blender, and you're good to go. All right, guys, have a wonderful weekend. I will see you tomorrow where we'll be doing our 7 Days of Smoothies Day 6, and have a fun little treat planned for you on that one as well. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave some love in the comments. I'm also going to share some information with you as far as the recipe in the comments and where you can order the Wild Tree Wellness vanilla shake that we used today. Remember, there is a chocolate version as well, and that's been featured in a couple recipes that I've done this week. And you do get $5 off your first 1 month purchase, would be 2 canisters. So I always recommend get the chocolate and the vanilla. Try them both for yourself. Try these recipes and let me know what you guys think. So have a enjoy your Friday Pie Day. Cheers to you guys, and I will see you tomorrow for our next smoothie. Have a great weekend. See you Saturday.